Hey guys, how you going? First of all, before I carry on, I'd just like to take a moment out to say thank you for watching this far into my collection of videos. I appreciate the fact that you have taken the time out to hear me out and listen to what I speak of. It is much appreciated. The fact that you have made it this far into my collection does indeed tell me that what I have spoke of and what I have shared with you all has somewhat rung a bell of truth within you. As far as I'm concerned, this is a good thing. This is a positive thing. This was the intended purpose of me doing these videos in the first place. So thank you very much for taking out your personal time to watch my videos. I would also like to say a big thank you to all the people who are subscribed to my channel. Your support is much appreciated, so thank you very much. I would also like to say thank you to all the people who have shared their personal experiences on my videos via their comments. I'm very happy that all you people felt free enough and let go of all the things that held you back, where you are able to put that out there, share that, put that information out for not only just me personally, but for the world to see. So I appreciate you all sharing your input, your information, your stories in regards to this subject. Alright, so one more time, just a big thank you to you all. Okay, so let's carry on then, shall we? Alright, next fact. You can spot them if you know what to look for, their traits and their habits. I have noticed pretty much for most people, I'm only speaking for myself here, I'm not sure about the rest of you people, but when I first encountered these Archons, I was noticing a lot the reptilian eyes and the blackened out eyes. Once I actually become aware of them and was noticing that more frequently, they started to not showing those sorts of traits to me as often. That was sort of things that they'd keep away from me now. But I have noticed another thing to keep an eye out for, another trait that you will pick up on in regards to them when they're around. Best thing I could basically say is, if you're at work or in an environment or something like that where it's very chaotic, you'll pick up on the energy. It's very chaotic, it's very busy, it's very hectic, there's a lot of pressure, stress, people are anxiety filled, full of fear, full of anger because they're not getting the job done quick enough or things like that. Basically, if you're in one of these environments, so for an example, I'll say, just say you're at work and it's very chaotic, everyone's busy, you'll pick up on it. You'll pick up on it instantly, the energy is very chaotic. One thing to look for in regards to noticing them, right, is you'll notice in this environment when it's very chaotic and everything is happening, you'll notice that there will be maybe one or even a couple of people, but generally I've found there's normally one, but you'll notice this person will be standing in amongst all of this chaos but have a very cold appearance. It's that they'll have a very blank stare on their eyes, and you will notice subtle licking of the lips, lip movements. So I'll try and do it for you now to give you an idea, a visual of what to actually look for. So just say you're in this environment, everything's stressed and chaotic and all that, just keep in the back of your mind to watch for things like this. So look across the people, and you will generally notice there'll be one person. Now they'll be standing there and have, like I said, this intense look. I'll try and mimic it for you now, and you'll be able to use that as a point of reference to look for in future times, okay? This person will be standing there, very still, cold, blank, but they'll have a stare like this. And they won't actually be looking at any particular person or anything like that. It's almost like they're looking across the room. They'll have this stare, and then they'll do the licking of the lips. So this is what you're looking for, people. If you do notice this indeed is a very big telltale sign that that person has either an Archon permanently attached to them or is temporarily hosting them or manipulating them at the time. They are most likely the ones who are causing the chaos, stress, drama and panic and the anxiety-filled environment that you're currently in. They are doing this deliberately because they are feeding. But that is one trait to look for, and you may very well notice it yourself from time to time. Alright, moving on. Next fact. You cannot lie to them. They will see straight through it immediately. Basically, people, not only the Archons, but also the positives, the good guys, my buddies, you cannot lie to them. you will not be able to lie to them. They will see straight through you, straight through you. The reason I know this is pretty much, I'd be at work. I'm actually working as a casual, a temp worker now, pretty much because every place I go, they follow me. So if I show up at a new job, they show up, create drama, chaos, make the bosses not like me, things like that. Then I get moved on or sacked or pushed on. So my life pretty much from now on is just moving from job to job to job. I have noticed though, when I do show up at these jobs and they'll be hosting people around me and just saying nasty things and trying to aggravate me and taunt me and things like that, I will say to them within my mind, back up. If you keep going, all these people here at work are going to know about you because I'm going to tell them. And they know pretty much if you do make a threat like that to them, pretty much you've got to be willing to put your money where your mouth is, stand by your word, because they will know if you're lying or not. They have learnt with me that pretty much 1 out of every 3 things that I say to them may very well be a bluff, but they know definitely the other 2 I will go through with and I will follow and I will stand by my word. You cannot lie to them. If you make any comment to them or in regards to them or anything like that and do not follow it up, do not stand by your word, they will walk over you. They will walk over you. They have learnt with me that if I say it, I very well will go through with it. So it's just something to keep in mind, that if you do, talk about them, they're instantly going to show up. And if you don't follow through with it or go through with it, they will walk over you. All right, moving on. All right, next fact. They have an amazing ability to be able to mimic everything about us. This is one thing I've noticed. Because we can't actually see them, they're invisible to our vision of sight or our spectrum of vision. Pretty much, they have had a long time, a very long time, to just sit and observe us. They can mimic exactly our voices, the way we speak, our mannerisms, our posture, our body movements, everything. They have the amazing ability to be able to mimic everything about us. I've been at work where they've been hosting people around me and they were picking on, say, one person at work that had a funny walk, or their voice was a bit peculiar, or they had a funny nervous tick or something that they'd done, just like a little habit or a small idiosyncrasy that they'd done. The Archons can sit and watch, and I was sitting at work amongst a group of people and they were picking on a guy for the way he walked, and one of these people got up, and I knew very well that he was acting under Archon influence or had one of these entities attached to him. They were able to mimic this guy's walk precisely and perfectly. If it wasn't for the fact it was actually a different person, different structure, different shape, you wouldn't notice the difference. They could copy their walk perfectly. I've also been around them when they've hosted people and picking on people about their voice or their accent. They can copy your voice and your accent perfectly. They've had a very long time to sit around and watch and observe you. They know every little thing about you. Things that you may not even know or pick up on or realise, they know. They know if you chew on one side of your mouth. They know every time you get up and go to walk, if you lead with your left or your right foot. They know all these little things. They know when you're talking, if your head tilts to one side, or if, when you run, if one arm goes and the other arm sits by your side. All these little things, all your body movements, postures, everything about you, they are able to mimic. They are masters at mimicry. I've got to be honest, it's quite amazing, but they are extremely talented at it, All right, moving on. Okay, next fact. They will use negative propaganda through TV, radio, internet, etc. So what I mean by this is, on the news, things like that, they will deliberately put things on the news and the radio and stuff like that to aggravate the people or to basically generate negative energy. Now, this is where a lot of people make the mistake or have error in their judgment. They'll basically take what the news presenters or the news reporters feed to them via the television, form an opinion based solely on what has been given to them on the television. Now, what's been shared with them or put in front of them or used as a tool for propaganda may very well not even be true. But the Archons know this, right? So what they do is they'll do these things knowing that these people will take on this information that has been handed to them via these medias and then pretty much form an opinion based on that and then go share that opinion with other people. Now, the people that take on this information and form an opinion solely on what is being presented to them via the TV, radio, internet, etc., it's an uninformed, it's an uneducated opinion. They haven't done their research, they haven't done their homework. The Archons know this. The Archons don't care if what they put on television, radio, internet, etc. They don't care whether the story is true or not, as long as the end result remains the same, negative energy. So in regards to this, basically what you receive via the radio, TV, things like that, don't just take it on board and form a negative opinion solely on what has been presented to you, because you're most likely falling for the propaganda game and actually working for their agenda unwittingly. Yes, you can have an opinion and form an opinion about it, but try your best not to get too negative or let those opinions affect other people in a negative way. This is how they use the negative propaganda tool against all of us, So just keep that in mind, people. Alright, let's move on. Next fact. They're using the New World Order propaganda to their advantage. A simple case of divide and conquer people. Now, in regards to the New World Order, I've just got to say, people, there is nothing new about New World Order. There's nothing new about it, people. Order has been established for a very long time. A very long time. You'll notice people go, oh, New World Order. This is deliberately put out there. This propaganda is put out there because when they put out New World Order, what that does is that creates the mindset of the people that, oh, New World Order, they're trying to put it all under one control system, one government, one banking system, one law. What that basically does is they're using that to their advantage, because by doing that, what that does is it makes the people rebel against unity. What if I said to you, instead of New World Order, what if I said World Unity? Has a very different ring to it, doesn't it? This is why they do the New World Order propaganda, because it's a simple case of divide and conquer people. If they put out New World Order, New World Order, New World Order, it actually stops the people and countries around the world from actually uniting for a common cause, to actually unite and be like a family, one big family on this planet. The New World Order propaganda, people, is just a tool used to divide us and keep us all fighting and bitching and bickering amongst ourselves. While we're falling for those tactics and those manipulations, we're simply divided and being conquered. New World Order, people, there's nothing new about it. Order has been established for a very long time. They've been in control for a very, very long time, people. So in regards to the New World Order, don't just take what people put in front of you. You'll notice whenever New World Order is brought up, it always has a negative agenda, doesn't it? Every time New World Order is brought up, there's always something negative about it. It is done deliberately. You are all being manipulated to not unite with your brothers, your sisters. This is done deliberately, people. Alright, moving on. Next fact. Racism is a tool they use to full advantage to generate negative energy. Racism, that's their work, people. That's their work. Basically, no one on the face of this planet is born racist. No one. That is taught, people. Racism is taught. But this is how silly racism truly is. So you'll get, say, a white skin or a fair skinned person that is hating against a dark skin or a black skinned person. At the end of the day, in regards to race, we're all a part of one race. We're all a part of one race, the human race. What I find funny in regards to racism is this stuff is taught, and the reason it is taught is it's to teach you to hate others, to hate other people. What I find funny is you'll get, say, a white person who is racist to a dark-skinned person, yet that white person will still associate with other white people that have different coloured hair, different coloured eyes. They could have freckles, but oh no, they're alright because of skin colour. This is truly how stupid racism is. They draw a line at racism in regards to skin colour, but they'll still hang with people that have the same skin colour but different hair, different coloured eyes. They could have red hair, freckles, things like that. That's truly how silly racism is, people. All of us, we need to let that go. There's no such thing as racism. It's just basically hatred with just a fancy name to basically hate ourselves, to hate others, you know. And to hate someone else is to hate yourself. That's pretty much how you look at it, people. And racism is very unnecessary, and it has no part in this world. Racism has caused a lot of anguish, a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow across all people, across all humans. You need to let go of racism, people, because it's very unnecessary, and it is also one of their tools that they use upon us. Alright, moving on. Next fact. Intolerance to sexuality is also a tool they use against us. Pretty much, now this just isn't my opinion, this comes from above. If you are a male and you choose to love another male, if you're a homosexual man, if you are a woman and you choose to love another woman, a lesbian woman, you do not have to feel fear or shame to have love for another person, people. This isn't just my opinion. This is coming from a higher source. I'm telling you now. They've pretty much told me this is something that I had to share with you all. You should not feel ashamed to have love for another person. Don't let people who hold the Bible in their hand and that preach fear, intolerance, hatred in regards to your sexuality because you choose to love another person. If you choose to love another person and they happen to be of the same sex, well, it's still love. Love is a good thing, people. Do not let people dictate to you who you can and can't love. Love has no boundaries. Love is uninhibited. There's no rules or laws or guides that love must stay in between to in turn be love. Love is wild. Love is free. Love cannot be tamed. It cannot be caged. It cannot be conformed to suit a particular means or an idea. You do not have to feel shame to love another person. Just know that this isn't my word. This is from above, people. Okay, moving on. Next fact. They know there is a higher power than them. They have told me so. Pretty much, I asked them through a host of people around me, and I basically said, do you believe in God? Now, they didn't actually say, yes, we believe in God, but they did say to me and own up to me and basically confess that they do know and understand that there is a higher power than them. They acknowledge this, they know it, and they understand. There basically is a higher power than them, and they recognize this, they know this, and they understand this. They didn't actually say the word God or Allah or source or anything like that. And this is their work, right? So this is from their mouth, people. I'm not preaching from a book or anything like that. This is from their mouth. They do know and acknowledge that there is a higher power than them. Where a lot of people, now what they'll do in regards to religion and things like that is, a lot of people, this is where I notice a lot of people in regards to religion, Christians and that say God, and the Muslims with Allah and things like that, and your more spiritual people of today's society who say source or, the center of creation and things like that. The fact is we're all too busy bickering over, no, I'm right, no, I'm right, no, I'm right. So a Christian will say, no, it's God, and then a Muslim will go, no, Allah, and then another spiritual person will go, no, it's source, you're all wrong. This is them manipulating us. This is how silly it is, right? Is in regards to religion. Now, religion in its truest form can be a beautiful thing, but they have since manipulated it and infiltrated it and twisted it to basically turn religion against religion. So while you have a Christian arguing, no, it's God, then you have a Muslim going, no, Allah. Then you have a modern day spiritual person saying, no, source. While they're too busy arguing and bickering over who's right and wrong, they fail to see that they all agree on one thing. There is a higher power. This is manipulations by the Archons. They've got us too busy bickering over who's right and wrong that we're distracted or deviated from the fact that we all agree on the one thing, that there is a higher power. Pay attention, people. What I've just said to you then is very true, and I know for 100% for sure and for a fact there is a higher power. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you over names, the nuts and bolts and the semantics of it all, because that indeed is pointless. While you're too busy fighting and arguing over the smaller bits and pieces, the nuts and bolts, you've lost track of the true ideal that, in a sense, we all agree. We all agree. We just all have different interpretations of it. The fact that I want to prove I'm right and you're wrong and this and that, we've come so far off track that we should be talking about, yes, well, you agree there is a higher power, I agree there is a higher power, we all agree there is a higher power. Putting a name or a label on it for the sake of argument is just silly, and it's their manipulation, people, so don't fall into it. Alright, next fact. Alright, next fact. There is rules to their game, but most people don't know and understand them. So pretty much there is rules to their game. Pretty much that they know this and they understand, but if you don't know or understand the rules of their game, then you'll fall for their games, their tactics, and the way they manipulate people. An example I'll give you, so just say you're at work or something like that, right? And all the people, you'll be sitting around at your lunch break or things like that, and they'll be talking negatively about the boss, all right? So they'll all be talking negatively about the boss, and then they'll influence you. So one will be going, oh, that boss, he's an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about, how did he get that position? Then another person will go, oh yeah, this boss, he sent the wrong products, he ordered too much of this, he's blown our budget, you know, like the work party's going to be over now because he's too busy spending money on things we don't need and all that. And another person will go, oh yeah, that boss, he's just lazy and sits around and does nothing all day and makes us do it all. So you're noticing now everyone is talking negatively about the boss. Then they'll try and influence you and manipulate you to have your say. So if you jump aboard, you jump into their game, you'll say something, right? Now what will happen is they will ensure that that gets back to the boss. All the other people, theirs won't get back because they're simply puppets. They're being controlled by the Archons. But if you're aware of them and you feed into that game, they will ensure that what you have said gets back to the boss. All of a sudden the boss will start treating you differently. He'll, you know, be very resentful towards you and mean to you and nasty to you and get you doing the crap jobs and all that, because simply that boss has been manipulated too. They've gone back to the boss and said, oh, you're not going to believe what so-and-so said about you. And he will take that on as gospel, as that's the truth, and he'll accept that that really happened and that's what was said, because they'll all gang up and go back to the boss and say that. The next thing you know, you're getting ridden, you're getting, you know, just really treated badly by the boss for that reason. This is what I mean, rules to their game. In regards to, you know, if you're aware of them, and for them to physically show up and hit you or hurt you, it's not within their means, right? But what they can do is they can provoke you into a situation where you'll enter into a physical altercation with someone, then they can actually host that person and attack you that way. These are all little rules to their game. I'll actually add more in my videos later on, pretty much that has a lot more information in regards to this, but you have to learn the rules to their game and not feed into it. Once you know and understand the rules to their game, it makes it a lot harder for them to trap you in it. Alright guys, what I'll do, I'll wrap this video up here for now, and if you'd like to learn more, please follow on to the next video, and I guess I'll see you all there. Thank you very much for your time.